Hey, welcome back. Thanks for watching. In the recent month or so, I've gotten several new subscribers, and I just thought I'd come on and kind of tell my story once again. I know some of these videos perhaps are rehashes of old thoughts and videos, but just trying to present them in a better way, perhaps. And again, I've got a larger audience now than I did a month or two ago, and so I just thought I would perhaps come on and just kind of give a peek into what this is all about. So in March of 2024, I was 54 years old. I turned 55 in April of last year. I met with my financial advisor to kind of lay out a roadmap as to what I needed to be doing and the steps I needed to take to prepare to retire when I was 59 or so. So I was getting this 4 year a pathway laid out so that I could begin to prepare to retire at 59. At that meeting in March of 2024, I found out that I had enough money to retire very, very soon. And so when I left that meeting and got to thinking about the information that I found out at that meeting, I began to think that I could retire at the end of 2024. And so I began to prepare for that by watching YouTube videos and running scenarios and calculations for my budget and for my nest egg, and just seeing how it would play out. I began really studying and I'm working on my budget and preparing all that, thinking that I was going to retire again in January of 2025. And so I really put myself into the work of retirement study and retirement preparedness, because what I thought was going to be 4 years, I was going to condense down into about 8 months. And so I really began to work and study on that. The more I studied and the more I thought about it, the more I began to think that I didn't have to necessarily wait until January. And so I kind of really refocused my attention to my budget and how much I was really going to need to spend each month, and how much I was really going to need to pay bills and the one-time expenses. Then it led me there toward the end of June, the middle of June of last year. I really was getting to the point where I didn't want to work anymore. I had really kind of talked myself into the fact that I think I can do this whenever I want, instead of waiting till the end of the year. And so I went and I talked to my dad about what he thought, because I was getting to the point where I was just done. Maybe I drove myself mad by all the thinking and preparing that I did. And I just, maybe at that point, I was to the point where, well, if I just retired, I wouldn't be so immersed in this study, in this planning. And so I went to talk to my dad about it, to just kind of quell my fears and to talk me in. I wanted him to talk me into just calming down and staying till the end of 2024. And in that conversation, he really turned the tables on me, and he asked me what I was going to gain by working till the end of last year. And he convinced me that I just needed to retire whenever I wanted to, as opposed to setting some type of date toward the end of the year. What was the gain in me waiting at that time, another 6 months to retire? And so, man, that really hit me, because I really thought he was going to talk me into staying and just calm down about it all and just stay and put the work in, and then go at the first of 2025. But since he really said what he said about what am I going to gain by waiting, man, that really kicked me in gear to think, man, I can retire when I want to, as opposed to waiting 6 months. And so after that conversation, the next day, I gave my notice that, hey, I had actually said that I was going to leave August 7th of last year. And then after a day or two of that, I said, no, I think I'm going to retire July 14th. So July 14th, 2024 at 5:37 p.m., I walked out the gate for the very last time, and I've not looked back. That's where I'm at. That's how I got here. It was just eye-opening to me to know that finding out that I could have retired as soon as I could, as opposed to waiting from March of 2024 to perhaps the beginning of 2029 or so. So I made this channel to encourage you to begin preparation early. Looking back now, had I went and talked to my advisor, say in March of 2020, which that might not have been the best way. If I would have went in, say, January of 2020 before the world got crazy, um, perhaps in that meeting I would have began to work on methodically paying my home off sooner. As it stood when I retired, I still owed on my mortgage, although that is paid off now. But my goal then, if I would have went in January of 2020 for an initial meeting, then I probably would have worked more diligently to get my house paid off, and also probably would have began saving more into a brokerage account as opposed to my 401k, just to give me more freedom and flexibility. But that's all in hindsight. And as it worked out, everything worked out fine. We did get the house paid off in February or March of 2025. I don't remember if we did that. I think I did that in February of this year, and it's worked out. I necessarily didn't have any much in my brokerage, but it worked out. And I've not had any regrets. I haven't looked back and had a wish that, man, I wish I'd have worked another 2 months. I've not done that. And I think that there are a lot of people get caught in that trap to where they say, well, I'm just going to wait and retire next month, or next year, and continually put it off. But I think if you put the work in, I think you can find that, preparing for retirement is maybe not going to be the big worry when you retire. So anyway, I just wanted to come on and give an overview of how I got to where I'm at. I am taking distributions from my 401k through the rule of 55, and I've got videos on that. Although if you want me to talk more about that, you can text me and I can tell you about that. And again, my recent videos have been talking about me taking a 72T distribution, and so I'm doing that as well. And retirement's good. I've not had any regrets. I don't see any big scares coming on the horizon. Obviously, you don't know what the next 20 years is going to bring, or the next 10, or even the next year. But, with all my planning and all my preparation, I feel confident knowing that, I can have a successful retirement. I am paying, and I do rely on a financial advisor. Maybe that's not for you, but I'm happy with the money that I pay him and the work that he does for me. It's not just about him taking my money and investing it. It's about tax planning. It's about planning like this 72T I took, and it's about budget planning. I pay him to help me map out the future. He knows more about things than I do, and I don't know what I don't know, and so I rely on him and his expertise and his years of training and work to guide me through the jungle of the things that I don't know. And I really don't think I could have been here and gotten where I'm at without the help of my financial advisor. And I know that's not for everyone, and I know that there are people that come in my comments and criticize me for paying one. But I feel confident knowing that essentially, the plan that I have has been mapped out by someone who's much better at that than I am. And that's just a comfort to me to know that's there and that's available. Now, that's not to say that, in the next 5 or 6, 7 years that I'll take that away from him, and I'll do it myself. And we've had those conversations, and he doesn't mind handing it over to me. But at this point, especially before I'm 59 and a half, I'm willing to pay him in order to advise me and to guide me in the things that I need. So anyway, that's how I got to where I'm at. That's where I'm at now. You can text me at 618-608-0152 if there's any questions that you have about how I've done things or how I've come to do what I do. Just reach out to me. I'll chat with you there. And I'm not here to necessarily give you any advice. I'm just here to tell you what I've done and how it's worked for me. And that's like many of the other retirement channels have been. They're not giving advice as much as they're just telling you their story and how their things are working out. So with that, I'll close. Say God bless. Reach out to me if you want to talk. And I'll chat with you later, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.